WGAL News 8 Today starts now.
Good morning. As it comes up on 6 o'clock on this Tuesday, I'm Matt Barcaro.
I'm Caitlin Smith. Here's what else we are following across the Susquehanna Valley this morning. Chief Meteorologist Christine Ferreira following another hot forecast, making it an impact day.
News 8's Cameron Lobley live in Lancaster with what Lancaster County says property owners should know before hearings for property reassessment appeals start tomorrow.
And News 8's Gabrielle Thomas is following your morning commute and also reporting on a school district about its thoughts on our new state budget.
Let's talk about the weather, though, with a live look from our Hershey Skycam. Today starts another heat wave. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Christine Ferreira with how hot it'll get today.
Oh, it's going to be a toasty one, I'm telling you. 10 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. We do have a heat advisory for the counties in orange here from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. And that means the heat index that feels like temperature is going to be close to 100 degrees, just shy of it in southern counties. Now, everybody tomorrow will feel the heat plus the humidity, making it feel like the low 100s, I think. We could even get close to 105 for the feels like temperature tomorrow. And that would be an extreme heat warning. So we'll see what the National Weather Service does. Here's a look at the temperatures. We have 70 degrees in Harrisburg, the warmest spot. It's also 70 in Gettysburg. We have 64 in Lancaster and 62 right now in York. Dew points are in the low 60s, so still feeling pretty comfortable for this time of the year. That won't last, though. The humidity climbs this afternoon. The temperatures climb up to 96 degrees. And there's your impact hours for the heat advisory in effect for parts of the Susquehanna Valley. But boy, a steamy day, a hot day all around the Susquehanna Valley. And we have 4 more days of it. The heat wave lasts through Friday. Back to you.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope your morning is off to a great start. So far, so good across the Susquehanna Valley. I'm not seeing any major slowdowns right now. What's tracking that slowdown, though, in York County? It's since cleared, so no need to worry about that. Here's a look at our PennDOT camera in Hershey. It looks like Route 322 is looking good out there. Only a few cars out there on the road, so you will definitely make it to your destination on time if you're going to work or maybe dropping your kid off at camp this morning. Some drive times for you if you're in Lancaster right now, but you are headed to the Turnpike. That's just a 20-minute drive. Also, if you are in Chambersburg right now, but you're on your way to Lancaster, 1 hour, 37 minutes. So take your time there. I'll give you an update on your morning commute in just a few minutes.
This has been a Lancaster Toyota traffic report.
The U.S. launched attacks against Iran for the 3rd straight night. President Donald Trump announced the military will resume blocking Iranian ports this afternoon and also impose a shipping toll through the Strait of Hormuz. News
8's Rachel Hersheimer joining us live from the White House this morning with what we're hearing from the president about all this.
Well, Matt and Caitlin, good morning to you both. This is a major shift in the president's stance and longtime stance that the Strait of Hormuz should remain open to everyone free of tolls. Now the president is arguing the U.S. should be reimbursed for protecting this part of the world.
We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing.
President Trump also claimed the U.S. will be the guardian of the strait, adding the U.S. will be reimbursed by 20% of the value of cargo. Meanwhile, U.S. and Iranian attacks continue in the Middle East. U.S. Central Command released new video showing forces striking targets across Iran. In response, Iran launched strikes against countries that host U.S. forces. On Monday, the president was asked if this constant back and forth is the new normal.
No, well, we're in Vietnam for 19 years. We're here for 4 months. So I think we've done a lot. We've knocked out their Navy in a period of 1 month. We knocked out their Air Force. Their Air Force is non-existent. We knocked out most of their missiles.
Now, after President Trump announced this renewed blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, the price for Brent crude oil, the international standard, rose to about $84 per barrel. And that is still much lower than its highest peak about 4 months ago. Matt.
Mentioned that the president wants to be reimbursed for controlling the Strait of Hormuz, the ship traffic in that strait. Did he say anything more about that? Who would be paying the U.S.?
He did. Yesterday, President Trump listed out a number of Persian Gulf countries like Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait, who he said should be reimbursing the United States. But, Matt, there really are just more questions than answers here. The White House did not release specifics on this new desire by the president. It is possible we could learn more about this potential reimbursement plan by the president when he addresses the nation on Thursday at 9 Eastern. Matt.
Yeah, and where that money would go if it is collected. All right, thanks, Rachel. Live from the White House. Now, as Rachel was mentioning, of course, The war of Iran has affected gas prices here in Pennsylvania and across the country. Prices have been slowly coming down from their peak, but it has not been a straight line. The gas price average for regular here in Pennsylvania back up a penny overnight to $3.97. That is still 85 cents a gallon more than what the price was at the start of the war in Iran. It was $3.12 back then. County average prices in the Susquehanna Valley all below the state average right now. The most expensive average gallon is in York and Adams counties at $3.87. The lowest is in Mifflin County at $3.73. It is 6:03 right now, and the Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit starts today in Carlisle, Cumberland County.
And the president is set to speak at the U.S. Army War College tomorrow. That's where this summit is happening. Pennsylvania U.S. Senator Dave McCormick is the one putting on this event, which will bring in defense executives, senior military leaders, and Trump administration officials, including the president himself, to highlight Pennsylvania's investments in defense.
Senator McCormick held a similar energy and innovation summit last year. The senator says that resulted in $92 billion in private investments.
So today, the senator and Representative Scott Perry, whose district does include Carlisle, are set to speak. Also, Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane will speak at the event today.
A protest is already planned for the president's visit tomorrow. Protesters say they plan to meet at Biddle Mission Park in Carlisle, then march with their signs to Carlisle Square and back. They say that is starting tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
It's 6:04, and police in Dauphin County now say that a missing teen has been found safe. We told you yesterday about the search for Samara Anderson in High Spire. Police now again say that she has been found safe. Starting tomorrow, Lancaster County officials will begin hearing from property owners who maybe are disagreeing with their reassessment values. News 8's Cameron Lobley live in Lancaster with what this appeal process looks like and how people can still appeal their reassessment value. Cam?
Yeah, Matt, Caitlin, good morning. And the assessment office says that above all, if you are planning on applying, you want to make sure that you're comparing your property to a similar one. So that means things like similar size, similar amenities, think bathrooms and garage space, and above all, keeping it within a similar area. So not going over to another township, picking a similar property out of there, and then using that as your point of comparison. Now, even though the hearings are going to be starting tomorrow, property owners have until August 3rd to get their applications into the assessment office here in Lancaster. Now, we asked the assessment office how many local property owners have applied for those hearings this year. The office says it's still early on in the process, but so far they're seeing less applicants than with the last reassessment around 8 years ago.
Right now, we're kind of trending less than we did in 2018. We don't have an exact count, and that's mainly because we did an extensive education informational campaign, getting property owners comfortable with the process, knowing that the millage rate will be adjusted downward and that having a higher assessment does not necessarily mean that your taxes will be higher in the end.
Now, if you're planning on applying, you can find those appeal forms on the Lancaster County website. There you can also find a more thorough breakdown of the rules and the procedures for these hearings. In Lancaster, I'm Cameron Lobley, WGAL News 8.
Cam said you have till August 3rd to do that. All right, thank you. Well, this morning we are hearing from a Dauphin County school district about how the passage of the state budget is helping.
Yeah, this is the Susquehanna Township School District. They say that the education funding in the budget comes at a time as they continue to manage growing enrollment. News 8's Gabrielle Thomas back here with this part of the story. Good morning, Gabrielle.
Good morning, Matt and Caitlin. Well, the superintendent says the additional funding will help support students and teachers this school year, but she says it doesn't solve their biggest problem with classrooms still over capacity. Now, Susquehanna Township School District says the additional state funding will help pay for things like instructional resources, hiring more teachers, and providing additional training for staff. But the superintendent says their biggest challenge is still space. With average class sizes of more than 30 students, some children are still learning in hallways and trailers, and right now the district currently has 5 trailers that serve as classrooms. And the superintendent says while the district can't expand its buildings right now, it plans to use the additional funding to bring more adults into the classroom to better support the students.
Even though we can't expand our facilities, we're doing all that we can within our constraints to bring additional adults to our children, because a teacher with 30 students, that's a challenge. But if we can bring an additional adult into that room, now we could be looking at 2 adults, 15 people or children per adult. So that's helpful in some ways.
Now, Dr. Willis says it costs about $100,000 to hire one teacher, including salary and benefits. That means the district could hire about 16 to 17 people with additional funding. But she says the money will also go toward academic supports, including a curriculum review and tracking student performance. Now, district leaders say while the new funding is a step in the right direction, they believe more long-term investments will be needed to keep up with that growth. Matt and Caitlin.
All right, Gabrielle, thank you. Now we go to an issue in another school district. This morning we are hearing from Perry County community members about the potential closure of Blaine Elementary School for the 2027-28 school year. So not this school year, but the next. The West Perry School Board has been talking about this for several months now. And while it was not on the agenda last night, parents, students, and community members still showed up, pushing the board to keep that school open. Board members say declining enrollment and costs for repairs like water damage and mold are the main reasons they're looking to close the school, but they say it is not an easy decision.
Am I sad about that? I am, but I have decisions to make for the entire district, not just my student and not just the students of Blaine.
They say that they hear us, but I just don't see how they do hear us.
The board says added travel times and disruptions for students and their families are the main concerns for community members. The board is holding a public comment hearing that will be August 3rd. Then a final decision is expected around November.
Time now is 6:09. Let's go to Christine with the next few days. Seen a lot of Impact Day icons, Christine.
You got it. It is the next 3 days that we are impacting because of the heat and humidity. Now, the heat wave begins today. It will be more humid. It's going to feel like it's near 100. Tomorrow, definitely feeling like the low 100s. Heat advisory in effect for everyone. On Thursday, still hot, maybe not quite as humid, but the heat index could still be near 100. It's going to be a sultry next couple of days. Grab that water bottle.
Just when I thought we were getting a break, Christine, the heat is
so
back.
too.
You know what? I'll tough it out this week. Thanks, Christine.